Here we go. Here we go. We are live. Talking SEC. College football playoff edition coming off. The regular season's over. We had a great show Thursday night with Coach Talkin SEC, man. What a great show that was. What a great opportunity it was. Thankful that the Lord woke us up today. Thankful that the Lord woke us up today. Hope y'all are doing good. What's up, Big Damien? How we doing, everybody? Welcome back in to the first installment of Tuesday Night Talkin SEC, your home for the college football playoff wrap-ups. Your home for college basketball coverage from the Southeastern Conference teams, and your home for college baseball coverage once we get there too. Tuesday nights at 6:30-ish p.m. is the new running time for our program. I don't know if Jamie and Jacob are ready right now, but I sure as heck am. Is this the final? Yes, sir, Mr. Joseph. This is the college football playoff first round brackets here, y'all. Very shout out to the boy all college football. Shout out to On 3. If you're coming in, just know I'm going to read some scripture here in a minute. Y'all like the live up. Do the thing that helps boost the old algorithm for us. You know what I'm saying? So thank y'all for tuning in. I just started a live. People are going to start rolling in here. It's great to be back. It's great to be back. I'm very thankful. It's a quicker turnaround than we've had, and I like it. Tuesday nights is my favorite night to go live. It will be better for basketball. It will be better for baseball season as we get, into the basketball season. I'm excited for it, y'all. I am excited for it. Hopefully, Jamie and Jacob can join us here tonight. I know that, they got things going on. Me and Jacob are both blue collar men, so hopefully they didn't get too caught up at work or nothing like that tonight. Do what? I meant Jamie, Jacob and Jamie, to be honest. Hope y'all are doing good. Ohio State wins it all. I disagree wholeheartedly. I don't know who's going to win it all right now, y'all. I've got some thoughts. Chat, make sure that you put your thoughts out there in the chat too. Y'all like it up as well. Put your thoughts in the chat because this is, it's a college football program. It's a college football brand, a college, fandom brand I'm trying to grow here at Busted Knee Sports. LSU going to win it all in basketball? I don't know. I'm hoping my Cats take it. Do I think Georgia makes it? I think that before Jacob and Jamie get in here, I personally think that we're going to see Georgia look a little bit better overall. A little bit better overall without Beck in there. I've not been a fan of Carson Beck this year. Not been a fan of Carson Beck at all. Can you hate on? I won't hate on Notre Dame at all. Ooh, that sucks. Prayers for Jamie's family. I'm going to go ahead and rock the program out, man. I'm going to do the show, I guess, myself tonight. I do want to start off before I get into it. I appreciate the follow, Zane. Y'all make sure you like the live up. Welcome in, everybody. I'm going to do the program tonight, and if Jacob can join us, he can join us or not. I'm going to start off by reading something that I read in Mark today, and thought I would share it. Okay, it is in Mark chapter 8, right? Jesus is talking. This is in the parable. What is it? This is in the 4,000 where Jesus feeds 4,000 again. Okay, Jesus feeds multiple thousands of people with, his might, right? Okay, so in Mark chapter 8, verse 34, and he summoned the crowd with his disciples and said to them, if anyone wishes come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. Something I've been trying to do in my own self is deny myself of these fleshly desires to want to stay in sin. When we come to follow Christ, we become new. And the devil wants to just throw our old ways in our face, keep us in the old ways. Why? Because he keeps us locked in our cycles of sin. Are we going to be perfect? No, but we can be stronger and rooted through our relationship with Christ. Because Christ did come and allow me to do this. He allowed me to wake up today. He allowed y'all to wake up today. And there's hope and salvation found in the belief in Jesus Christ. And I'm very thankful because without God, I wouldn't be here. Like, we interviewed Coach Talkin SEC last week, Thursday night. The full episode is on YouTube. And if TikTok does go away, please go subscribe. Hey, David J., I do respect your opinion, brother, but I want you to know that there is hope for you today through, believing in Christ Jesus. Now, I respect your opinion to not believe. We are all entitled to it, just sharing the good word because of the blessings that God has bestowed upon us and the fact that we're called to do it. But yeah, we interviewed Coach Talkin SEC last week. He's a former athletic director in the Southeastern Conference. That's all because God has allowed me to do it, man. That's all because God has allowed me to go through the things that I've gone through as a part of my testimony, and I'm supposed to share it. And I'm working on the things it says to take up our cross and to deny ourselves, man. Like, there's a guy on here that was relating it to hunting, and I very much, like, God knows how to speak to us, man. And so with that being said, I know Jamie is dealing with a family situation right now. Jacob's in here. If y'all guys are ready, we'll get you up here, and we'll start this program. We will start this program. Let's see. Let's get the fellas up here if they can. If you can't, Jamie, is fine. Here we go, boys. We had to glorify our Lord and Savior, man, and share the good news with people, man, because that's what that's why I like that the show is just us now. No shade to the people that was on it before. We love them, we respect them, but I think there's a reason it's just us three now. Welcome in, guys.
Yes, sir. How's it going, boys?
We're here. We breathe in air, man. Is your grandma okay?
Oh yeah, she's fine. She had a surgery, and I thought I was gonna be home a little earlier than I was. I just walked in the door, so I was trying to get on here before you got started. But I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit behind, but I'm still here. So
we ain't really do nothing. Honestly, waiting to talk a little bit. Had the views up a little bit. Jacob, how was your week, brother? You here? I mean, you missed last week because you was traveling back. Glad to see. I mean, we got to buy
right.
all over
Yeah, it's been good. Work's about to start picking up, but we're chilling for now.
See, I'm actually going to do a tax write-off this year. It's going to help me not get screwed as bad by the IRS as I'm going to get screwed. And it'd be okay. But bowls got announced, y'all. LSU is playing in the Texas Bowl versus Baylor. I was crossing my fingers for the Music City Bowl because I was going to spend whatever it took to get there and see my Tigers play and be loud and proud. But can't go to Texas. So the state went 2-10 there. You're on basketball season now, Jacob.
That's
that.
Right.
And Tennessee, man. Tennessee. It is a great day in the state of Tennessee. The weather's done got chilly again on us. But it ain't chilly. It ain't chilly in the state of Tennessee when you're a Vols fan right now. And I guess that's where we'll start on the fact of, like, how do y'all feel? Y'all think they got it right with the 12 teams? I'll say that. We'll start there.
Yes, I do believe they got it right. And I'm not saying that because I hate Alabama, but I don't think it's right to set a precedent, especially in the inaugural 12-team playoff, to make it to where conference championship games don't matter. Being able to make it to a conference championship game doesn't matter, I should say. Yeah. If SMU was going into that game with a 10-2 record, I would say put Alabama in. But they came in with only one loss, and they played a competitive game against the conference champion. They came back and made it a game. So that's the reason I believe that they got it right. I think if Alabama doesn't slip up and lose to Oklahoma or Vanderbilt, especially Oklahoma in the fashion that they lost that game by, because, I mean, it was never even a competitive game. So if they win that game or they beat Vanderbilt or they at least keep it competitive with Oklahoma, because it was a road game, I'll give them that. It's not an easy place to win at. Then I would say that they should probably have been in. But, I mean, I think they got it right.
I mean, I agree with you. The only thing I don't like, we're going to hear Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, how can you be wrong? You can name his right. But I think that, like, if you really look at it, the four conference champions, the highest ranked conference champions getting a bye, I don't like it, but I think they had to do it these first couple of years.
Yep.
Like, I don't like it because I have my own thoughts on it. We'll get in. I'll share my overall thoughts after Jacob gives his, but, like, they had to do what they had to do. I definitely agree with SMU over Alabama. I think that Alabama fans' entitlement got to them a little bit. I had Alabama going 9-3 preseason. I thought they would lose to 3 different teams than they lost to. But, I mean, Tennessee beat them, so I had that as a win for the Tide, actually. They didn't beat my Tide. They beat my Tigers pretty bad. They lost to Oklahoma. That Oklahoma game is what cost them. They could have gotten away with 10-2. They could have gotten away with losing to the teams from the state of Tennessee. That'd have been fine. But that losing by 21 points, they did have a touchdown get taken away from them. Okay, but that still would have been a loss by double digits on the road against the 6-6 Oklahoma team.
Well, at 10-2, they would have been still in the conference championship game, and it would have been a wash no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They did.
I mean,
based on the format that they have set forward, they did the best. Like this is the best 12 considering the format. Now, if the format didn't exist, yeah, we'd probably see South Carolina and we'd see maybe Ole Miss and Alabama.
I think that would be a better matchups than we're going to like. I think South Carolina and Ole Miss would be better games, and we'll pace ourselves here. Let me pace myself with that.
I mean, being realistic, we all know that Alabama would give Penn State a better game than SMU probably will. And I don't want to discredit SMU. That is a good football team.
Do we know that? Do we know that SMU isn't gonna show up because Penn State hadn't beat anybody?
That's true.
That is true. That is true.
Bowling Green, man. Bowling Green played them tough.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't really know how to put this. I mean, Alabama as a brand, obviously, most Alabama fans and most college football fans would like them in there in a matchup against Penn State because SMU's not the sexy pick to be there. But, I mean, I hope SMU gives them a game. I really do. I would like for them to upset Penn State. But let's just look at it like this. On a neutral field, if Alabama and SMU play tomorrow, the line's going to be Alabama by 10-plus points.
That's true.
But their body of record shows that they don't deserve to be there. And that's just as simple as it gets.
3 regular season losses. Now, I made a post, and I realize on here when you get people comment, and that's how your post does like better analytically. And I said, no 3-loss team made the playoff or should, but Clemson. The only reason Clemson as a 3-loss team made it is because they beat SMU. Otherwise, they were ranked, and this is why I don't like. I just think this is kind of a bad playoff, in my opinion. Like maybe that's a hot take, but I think Clemson's going to beat Texas because Texas hasn't beat anybody worth the dadgum all year long. They have not played. I think this is a terrible playoff, in my opinion. Like, terrible. Like, I personally think Tennessee, I'm going to give my picks, and I guess we should break it game by game. But, like, I don't think Texas is that good at all, okay? I think that Indiana is either going to get blown out by Notre Dame or they're going to beat them somehow, right? That SMU-Penn State game might be the best game that we get all weekend. And that game right there has a sneaky good chance to be a really good game. And don't sleep on Arizona State.
Yeah.
I think, Arizona State, to me, is like I wish it was almost like a March Madness kind of vibe. But, like, Arizona State might be my sneaky play for the national championship team. Like low-key. Like, if I had –
That Scatterboo is a dog.
Dog mentality, dude.
Yes.
I called it back in week 2 when he put up like 210 yards rushing against us. And everyone was like, oh, Mississippi State's just bad. Mississippi State's just bad. I was like, no, this guy's the business. Which also Mississippi State is bad, but
yeah.
He really is.
Who they play? Who did they lose to? They lost to somebody early in the year, and I watched that game.
No. Wait. I'm thinking of SMU. I'm sorry.
Because we got basically like the Pac-12 teams. We're basically still getting the Pac-12 after dark, but it's not the Pac-12 anymore. Who they play?
They lost to Cincinnati and they lost to Texas Tech.
Okay. Well, they played somebody who they upset. I cannot remember who the hell they upset early in the year. It was so long ago now. They upset somebody. They stormed the field, and their coach was like, this is what I came here to do. I play here. This is what I came here to do. We're for real. Nobody picked us to win. They were picked last preseason, y'all. I don't know if you know this. Y'all probably know this. Mm-hmm. They were picked last in the Big 12, and they won it.
Yeah.
That proves what we all know. And these are people that have, like, they're getting paid to do what we're doing right now, and they picked them last.
I love their coach.
Do what?
I love their coach, Dillingham.
Yeah.
I love him. He gets my blood pumping.
Yeah, I'm excited, dude. Like, I like them a lot. Like, I like I like their grit. They repeat, and they know that. Like, motivation is a thing. What Michael Jordan used to find every little thing to get motivated with, right? You could look at MJ wrong. Like, man, you could look at MJ wrong. He's like, all right, target that guy. Okay, I'm gonna mess him up. I'm gonna make his kids hate him. You know what I mean? And Arizona State's got that boulder on their shoulder.
Yeah.
Like boulder on their shoulder.
Mhm.
Do y'all want to start with? We'll just go. Well, I mean, did y'all have any thoughts before we get in? I mean, this is kind of fun. Like LSU's got their bowl game, State's out of it, and your team's playing on the road. I mean, y'all got any general thoughts before we get into game by game breakdown a little bit?
Yeah.
Hey, State might be in the best position. We're getting a head start on recruiting in the portal, so
I want Mississippi State to be good again. As long as we don't have to play on and take an L, a part of that winning and building, I'm cool with it. Y'all know, fans of the show that are returning viewers, if you're not returning, make sure you hit that follow button to all three of us so you don't miss. And this episode will be live on YouTube. It may take a day to get posted on YouTube, but this will be on YouTube after the show. And TikTok is going away, folks. So make sure you go subscribe to the Busted Me Sports YouTube so we can continue this program over on TikTok or over on YouTube when TikTok does get banned. But you're right. State's in a good position. We should. Oh yeah, we'll save that. You know what we talked about in the group chat about Jackson Arnold or whatever.
yep.
We should save that for after the breakdown of the playoff when we get in the transfer portal because that's what we're going to talk about after this. Well, what were you going to say, Jacob?
Oh, that was it.
Hey, y'all, man, I want State to be good again. I want State to be good again.
You
I'm
and me both.
Mike Leach because I thought he was going to be the one that did it.
I'm scared to go to Starkville next year. I know we got to go there. I'm terrified.
Come with me to Nashville, and we can. I mean, LSU's supposed to play Vandy in Nashville next year, so
Yeah.
hey, maybe I'll have enough credibility. Maybe I'll just slide back in that email box and be like, "Hey, you remember me? Let me get some more credentials, please."
Ashton, we're gonna get to the playoff game. I promise you.
We enjoyed the ball talk. We missed Jacob last week. Jacob, you missed the best show we've ever done, dude.
And I hated I had to miss it, but
It's
we're
on
sitting there.
YouTube, so you ain't technically miss it.
That's right.
It is on YouTube. That was such a good conversation. Jamie, I hope I didn't step on your toes too much last week at all,
No.
bro. Like,
I just enjoyed being able to listen to Coach. It's awesome hearing from somebody who works in college athletics in the manner
we love.
Yeah, in the conference we love, especially. I mean, I was just absorbing knowledge. That's all I wanted to do in that episode.
Man, because it just felt like I was in Coach's Live. Like I try to be in Coach's Live quite a bit, just because I learned so much from in there. And like the fact that he, won a state championship in high school, and like coached in the SEC with Saban, and coached in the Sun Belt at a couple different locations, and ran recruiting, and of course players were never paid before NIL started, right? But yeah, allegedly, as Pat McAfee would say, allegedly.
Yeah.
But that's his whole thing. Is like, even if former coaches are not just going to come out and say that anyway, because they would lose everything. He'd lose what he's trying to do. And like the fact that he literally turned what he was able to do in recruiting into a company and still provide for his family, is admirable. But let's start with your game, brother. Let's start with Ohio State, the 8th seed versus Tennessee, the 9th seed. Tennessee gets screwed out of a home game in Neyland, and your opportunity to waste a couple grand to go. What are your thoughts, Mr. Vol fan, Jamie Dunn?
Yeah, man. I'm not going to say we got screwed out of a home game. I don't want to look at it that way. Tennessee and Ohio State both have similar record-wise, they're the exact same, but resume-wise, it's pretty even. You're really just splitting hairs at that point.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with us being on the road. I didn't expect to have a home game anyway. I would have loved to have had a home game in Neyland. That would have just been the most electric atmosphere in the country. We all know that. But yeah, man, this game comes down to the line of scrimmage. You got a Big Ten line of scrimmage. Ohio State's offensive line is a little shaky. Tennessee's defensive line is nasty. And I think it comes down to who's able to run the ball well, because Ohio State is pretty good defensively at stopping the run, and we have a great running game. Dylan Sampson, I mean, he won SEC Player of the Year. How he got left out as a finalist for the Doak Walker Award is beyond me.
He did?
Yeah, he wasn't even a finalist for it. The SEC Player of the Year at running back was not a finalist for the Doak Walker Award. Crazy.
Oh, they talk about SEC bias. It's situational SEC bias is what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, but you know he doesn't care. He's a
He
dog.
has the best SEC season in turn. Has one of the best statistical seasons for a running back in this conference's last 20 years.
Yeah. But you know, it is what it is. That's just more for him to prove when we go to Columbus.
Little chip on the shoulder, you know.
Yeah. I mean, Nico's playing his best ball right now. The last 3 games, he's shown some maturity. He's grown up a lot since the beginning of the year. Yes. Offensive line starting to gel. They're clicking at the right time. I think it just comes down to if we're able to slow down their receivers. And our secondary has been good all year long. And I never thought I'd be able to say that under a Josh Heupel-led program. Because I remember how bad we were defensively when he first got the job.
It was terrible.
If we're able to slow them down, if we're able to keep them from throwing the ball all over the field, because Jamad McCoy is one of the best corners in the conference, maybe in the country. I like our chances, but I mean, Ohio State, it's just, they're more talented than us. They recruit better than us every year. I know that's not the end all be all, but for some reason, it just, I give Ohio State the edge.
Come on.
I give Ohio State the edge. I don't want to give them the edge. I would not be surprised if we go up there and do what SEC teams do to Ohio State, and that's beat them because they
like we did for a national championship.
I don't know. I just think Will Howard being a veteran quarterback against Nico, who's as talented as can be, which outside of the Vanderbilt game, he hasn't had truly a breakout game at all this year. To me, that just screams that Ohio State's going to be able to pull away. I'm not going to say pull away, but win this game somewhere in the ballpark of 31-24, 31-27.
I disagree with you, bro. Like, I disagree with you, but Jacob's been silent this whole time. Jacob, I want to hear your thoughts before I get into my thoughts on this game.
I think this game is such a swing game. Like I could see this going either way, and I think at the end of the day, it depends on which Will Howard we see out of Ohio State, because he hasn't been great. He hasn't been the Ohio State quarterback of late, you know, which that's been their trouble the past couple of years is they haven't been able to hold a good quarterback. But I think it depends on which Will Howard we see. If we see 2 interceptions, I think Tennessee wins the game. I think if he can take care of the ball and they don't turn it over 2 or 3 times, then Ohio State will probably win. And I think it's going to be close regardless. Probably the like of 31-28, you know, 28-21, somewhere around there.
See, I disagree with both of y'all, okay? And, like, I think the score for what y'all said is about what it'll probably be. But listen to me, okay? Listen to me. I'm gonna lay it out from a fundamental standpoint here. Ryan Day, big games, craps his pants more than a toddler in some damn pull-ups, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Not only that, okay. I'll give Ohio State a point. I do not trust Nico in this game at all. On the road, big time matchup. I think he might be pooping his Pampers as well. Okay. Don't trust Nico. But what I trust is SEC ball, SEC in the trenches. I do not trust Will Howard. I think we're gonna get the Will Howard that's scared. I think we're going to get the Will Howard that feels the weight of Buckeye Nation and all the alumni like AJ Hawk that are going to talk all week long on the Pat McAfee show and lay it out there and be like, you know what I mean? Like, I think the pressure is going to be too much for Will Howard and Ryan Day. When his team was fighting, this man was sitting there like a stick in the mud. I don't believe in Ohio State at all. At all. Like, They show no ability to get up for big games. Ryan Day is not that guy. He has lost 1 game in the Big Ten outside of Michigan against Michigan. Okay, whatever. But Tennessee is deep. They're big. They're physical. That running game is going to play smash mouth football. We've heard a lot I don't know if y'all have heard it. I know you have. You're bound to have heard it, and y'all watching it probably heard it too. SEC teams don't want to come play up north. If there is a team in this conference that is built to go up north, it is the Vols from across the state, whichever direction it is from the way I'm facing right now, and go up there and win. And that's a long epilogue. That's a long tangent. But give me the dadgum Vols, bro. Like, give me the Vols 24-21.
And I will say this about the weather as well. Looking ahead at not this upcoming Saturday, but next Saturday when the game is played, it's going to be colder in Knoxville than it is there. As of now.
Yeah.
That's our bipolar weather for you. But, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's my biggest reserve on this game is it being a road game because Josh Heupel has done so many good things in Knoxville.
Yeah.
But winning on the road when it matters most, that is where he struggles.
And that's where my distrust with Nico comes in.
Yeah.
Like, do you not think that y'all are going to be able to go up there and play ball control football?
We can. I mean, if we're able to establish the line of scrimmage early in the game, we can absolutely do that. But that's not a guarantee because Ohio State is as talented as it comes.
They are, but talent. Okay, yes, talent is one thing, but it comes down to situational football. It comes down to playing well enough on first and second down. And this is all these games. What I'm about to say is the general statement for damn near any football game that you're ever going to play, NFL, college, high school. It comes down to situational football. How well do you play on first and second down to get down to third and manageable and win the game? Are you going to dominate in the line of scrimmage? Or we know that games are won in every league in America in the trenches. You've got to be able to win in the trenches. Like you said, Jamie, and I think you can. Maybe hypothetically Ohio State comes out pissed off, but to me, Ryan Day is not that guy. Like, Will Howard's going to poop in his Pampers. I see the Vols winning the game.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, and to add on your pooping on Ryan Day, he is legitimately one of the worst coaches in the best seats right now. He's proven time and time again that he is not the coach to get it done. He was born on third base at Ohio State and hasn't done a thing since. They were, I don't know, they were probably 9-3, 10-2 the year that he came in, and he has not consistently done any better than that. Mm-hmm. I think if he doesn't win one or two games in this playoff, he's probably going to be fired.
Exactly. And that's crazy. We're talking about a guy that has only lost 5 games in the Big Ten in his tenure, but he's 1-4 against Michigan. And that only other loss against the Big Ten team came in a tight game against Oregon this year. But he does not get it done in the postseason at all.
No, I mean, he is as fraudulent as it comes. To be given the team, the program, with the financial backing and the roster that he had, that he inherited, and he's done absolutely nothing with it.
Bro's got a Porsche. He's driving it like a Camry.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a good coach. He's really not. I don't know what else to say other than that. I mean, I really don't want to pick Ohio State to win this game, obviously. But it's just, I know my team. I know my team really well. If this game was in Knoxville, I would give us the edge in this game. But with it being a road game in Columbus, in a marquee matchup with a freshman quarterback, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but that scares me. It just does. It does.
Okay, so I'm gonna write this down because we haven't kept pick records all daggone year, but we keeping it for the daggone playoffs, gentlemen. We are keeping it. So it is 2 versus 1 for the Ohio State. OSU versus TN. 2-1 for Ohio State. All right. Now, the winner of that game gets Oregon, and I don't know. I guess what we'll do is, God willing, we are sitting here next Tuesday after some of these games. We'll just keep doing it, and when the playoff is over, I cannot wait to get into basketball because Kentucky had a hell of a win against Gonzaga. Man, they had me screwed. They had me crying in the first half and had me dropping my jaw in the second half. But the matchup down below, unless y'all want to talk about, I'll let my co-host pick. Do y'all want to talk about the two teams from the state of Indiana, or do y'all want to talk about the Foghorns and the Tigers from Clemson?
Whatever.
I mean, we could just cover the left bracket first.
All right. So Texas, the 5 seed, versus Clemson, the 12 seed. Clemson only made the playoffs. They were the 16th ranked team in the land. They won the ACC over SMU, who is 11 seed, after stomping a mud hole in them in the half the game, and then SMU fought their way back in, and SMU had a late turnover, led to Clemson being able to kick a field goal and win it. Let me tell you something. I don't know how y'all are going to feel about it. I am not in favor of Texas. I think Texas is hot garbage with Quinn Ewers at quarterback. And I don't think this is the game. I saw some Texas fans questioning. I saw some social media posts. Do they just go ahead and bench Ewers and start Arch? Not in this game. I don't believe this is the game to do that. But I believe this is the last game of the Quinn Ewers era. This is the last game of the Quinn Ewers era. I've got Clemson in this game over Texas. Why? Because Texas has played two games this year where against a good team, right? And they've lost them. They lost them. Okay? They got such an easy road to this college football playoff in their first year in the conference, and it's ridiculous. They did not play Alabama. They did not play LSU. They did not play South Carolina. They did not play Missouri. They did not play Ole Miss. They did not play the better teams in the conference. Now, LSU, we went 8-4, but still, they didn't have to play us. They didn't have to get schemed up against that multiple blitz packages and that offense with Garrett Nussmeier and that really good O-line. They didn't have to play Bama. Because Bama,
they did have to play a real good Mississippi State team.
Do what?
So they had to play a real good Mississippi State team, though.
Look here, you went 2-10. In this argument, that is not valid. Okay, but okay, to your point. Okay, let's talk about this. Arkansas, a team that I pull for every week of the season because I like the little Razorbacks. I mean, they right across the river from me and Jamie, because me and Jamie reside in West Tennessee. I like the little Razorbacks every week of the year, but when we play them, okay? And they went 6-6, and Pittman saved his job. Congratulations, Hogs. You're going to be mediocre next year as well, okay? But they won that game 13-10.
Mm-hmm.
13-10, okay? They barely beat State. Well, how about y'all lose to them? Did they pull away by 10+ in the fourth quarter, Jacob?
Yeah, they pulled away in the fourth quarter, but it was tied at halftime.
Okay, point exactly. Quinn Ewers is not that guy, okay? He is not that guy. If Arch starts the whole year, they play drastically different. If Arch starts that SEC championship game, they win. Period. I don't believe in Texas at all. This has kind of been a long tangent, and I'm trying not to go off, but Texas is a fraud as they come. Give me Clemson, probably. Give me Clemson. They're going to pull it out, and they're going to win by probably a touchdown. It's probably going to be what? I'm trying to do math right now. 34-28, something like that. 34-28 Clemson, in my opinion. Now, whichever one, y'all can fight for who wants to talk now, because I got to catch a breather after that one.
You can go ahead, Jacob.
All right. I think it's in Texas's best interest to take these 2 weeks and entirely focus on installing Arch as the starting quarterback. I think Quinn Ewers has proven that he doesn't have what it takes to win the big games. And we've seen that twice when he's lost to Georgia.
Period.
Played not great in both games. That being said, Clemson doesn't have the dogs to keep up with Texas. I think they keep it close, and I think it's a great 3 quarters of football. It's probably 28-24 at the end of the third quarter, and then Texas scores 2 touchdowns and a field goal in the fourth and just pulls away.
I disagree with you. Texas is fraudulent, bro.
I think it ends up probably 38-28, somewhere around there.
Okay. What does that have to do with Quinn? Hey, appreciate you in the comments, y'all. If you're in the comments, do us a favor. Like the live, hit share, copy link, share it out to college football fans that y'all know, and make sure you're dropping follows and you're clicking the link in the bio to the Busted Knee Sports YouTube. Go subscribe because this platform is going away very, very soon. Because old Donald J.
Okay, Dakota, that's a good point. You know, the O-line has been getting whooped, but at the same time, Quinn Ewers isn't moving around enough to help out his O-line. He's sitting there in the pocket, and there's only one place for the D-line that the D-lines have to worry about going.
In your years back, get to the quarterback.
Yep.
Now, I would agree with you on the talent aspect of Clemson, but it's like, man, Dabo and them boys are going to be ready, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. I like Dabo. I did pick Clemson to win the ACC this year. They did, and man, I just hope. And like we interviewed with Coach, he said they do it right down there. They do it right at Clemson. Jamie, you got anything to bounce off of what we've said so far? How do you feel?
Yeah. So Clemson is only in this playoff because they won their conference. They're not a good team. I mean, I'm not going to say they're a terrible team. They're a good team, but they're nothing special. They're nothing elite. They're really just Texas Junior. They're built similarly. They play similar styles of football, but Texas just has way too much firepower, way too much talent on both sides of the ball for Clemson to even have a chance in this game, I believe. If I'm a Texas fan, I would like to see Arch more. I don't think that they're just going to hand over the starting job to him in the next 2 weeks, as much as I think they should, because I believe they should have in the second half of the Georgia game last week. But I just don't think they're going to do it. I think Sark is headstrong with his guy, and that is Quinn Ewers this year. So I don't believe Texas as a whole throughout the entirety of this playoffs is the answer. I don't think he's going to win him a national title by any means, but Texas just has way too much for Clemson. I think it's going to be probably a 2-touchdown win by Texas. I'm going to say 41-27 Longhorns.
I mean, I definitely could be wrong, but I just disagree with both of y'all. Like, I hear what y'all are saying, okay? I hear what y'all are saying, but, man, it's like Clemson, bro. I believe in him. I believe in Dabo. So that's both of y'all disagreeing with me so far. We keeping the receipts around this joint tonight. I disagree with you. Man.
Hey, they play with God's image and likeness.
Do what?
They play with God's name, image, and likeness over there.
Who?
Clemson.
Yeah,
that was Dabo's thing this past year.
Yep.
They're playing Indy. Okay, so Notre Dame and Indiana is the one that I'm kind of hung up on. I picked Indiana to win this game. Like, it's just because Kirk Cignetti. I'm rooting for Kirk Cignetti. That is why I'm going to pick the Hoosiers. But why do I feel like Notre Dame's going to win?
Because they are.
Like, there's a chance Indiana's going to get embarrassed. Like, I mean, actually, like, embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, it's Indiana. I'm not going to talk bad about them. That is a good football team. They have impressed me this year. Cignetti should be the coach of the year.
Period.
But Notre Dame, they just have dudes. They just have dudes that Indiana doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of the Northern Illinois game, we all know that was a bad loss. They put the butt on everybody they've played.
Yeah, they did.
That game. They're dominant right now. And I'm not going to say that they're going to win a national title because I don't believe that that's the case. But when it comes to them against Indiana, give me the Irish. Give me the Irish probably about 10 to 13 points.
Man, it's like, I want Indiana to win. I really do. It's like, but man, why? I just feel like Notre Dame's going to beat them by 10 plus points.
They should.
Yeah. As much as I hate Notre Dame,
yes.
I have forever. And as much as I would love to continue to see Kurt Cignetti succeed and him to continue to take this Iowa program up and up and up,
Indiana.
I think this is where the chickens come to roost. It's
rubber meets the road.
Yeah. Indiana, has benefited from playing a very easy schedule. They didn't play anybody in the Big Ten except for Ohio State. And in that game, they pretty much got stomped. Now, they did beat the brakes off of everybody else that they played. But in their one tough game, they might as well have not shown up.
Exactly. They are a good team. They're fundamentally sound.
Yeah, they're good.
They don't commit penalties. They play good. They play a good brand of ball. But lining up against Notre Dame, I just can't see a way that they pull it off. I just can't see it. I would love for them to do it. But
I'll be rooting for them.
Yeah,
I'll be rooting for them to prove me wrong. But
are we all in Are we all in agreement that all of our hearts say Indiana, please win this game, but our logic is saying Notre Dame's going to beat them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Did y'all happen to watch the Ohio State Indiana game? Watch it.
I kept up with this. I didn't watch every play.
I watched most of them, and they had special teams miscues that really hurt them in that game. They gave up 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns on special teams, or special teams miscues that really cost them. And that is my one thing that I'm hanging up on Indiana with. It's I feel like Notre Dame's going to win. I feel like it's going to be a 10-point game. If Indiana wins, they kick a last-second field goal. I don't see them winning. So I'm just gonna write all of our hearts say Indiana, but all of our logic says Notre Dame. Yeah. I'm gonna write that down. Okay. Last matchup of the first round, and I guess we could get into our hypothetical second round a little bit, but so Penn State and SMU, 6-seeded Penn State, and this is a growing theme. I don't think any of these teams are necessarily all that good, to be honest. I don't know. It's Georgia. I don't know. It's just not a great year for college football. It's been fun to watch, but I really think Arizona State's the best team on this list right now. No, I'm a guy that don't know. That's just my take, and I'm sticking to it. Mm-hmm. But SMU over Penn State, I'm going to pick SMU. Why? Because I watched this team play Memphis last year at the Liberty Bowl live, in person, pretty good seats. Okay, I watched their fight, their comeback. They got a lot of chip on their shoulder, man. They got a chip on their shoulder. I want them to win. And Penn State has shown they've shown flashes. So, this game, all these games, this playoff just does not excite me that much. I think this game right here is the best game of the weekend. This game, I don't know. Give me SMU just because that's what my heart says. But I don't know. What do y'all think? Because it's hard to pick.
Yeah, I'm going to heavily disagree with you here. I think Penn State just spanks them. I think Penn State probably wins by 3 touchdowns. Maybe not 3 touchdowns, but 10 to 17 points. So I don't know that SMU just has the dogs to keep running with them. They pissed away the Clemson game, and they should have won it. They had a really bad first half, but man, it's hard to come back after losing a game like that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Penn State in this game. Unlike any of the previous versions of Penn State that we have seen in recent years, they have an offense. That has been their biggest downfall in the James Franklin era, is having elite defenses with nobody on the offensive side of the ball outside of Saquon Barkley. They have an offense this year, so I think they're going to roll SMU. I don't think it's going to be particularly close at all.
I agree with y'all, really. I don't know. It's just my body. I just want SMU to win, bro. I just don't think they will. It's just one of those things where it's just I don't want them to be good. That's what I mean. If Penn State whoops the hell out of them, that game's not very good. If Notre Dame beats the hell out of them, that game's not very good. That game has got a chance. According to y'all, that game's not going to be good, but I think it will be. And I think that game right there, Ohio State Tennessee, is going to be the best game of the weekend. Best game of the first round. I'm sorry, they played at different times.
It's probably the best, most even matchup.
Yeah. But RDT said TCU 2.0. And that's kind of what I'm scared of, RDT. Like, I agree with you, right there, dude. It's like, man, somebody said they'll be at Penn State versus Boise State Fiesta Bowl.
Ooh.
That's a hot take, Kendrick. I mean, don't book your flights. Don't book. If flights too expensive to be just booking them now.
Go on and give me a ticket too, buddy.
Do it.
I said, go and give me a ticket too. I'll be there with you.
Man, I'm telling you. It's like, I got a checking and a savings, and they both say you trying to pay for a wedding. Which, I mean, that's what the whole second job thing's for, but still. Man, I wish I could hit on my little parlay.
Yeah. Might as well. No, I mean, I'm just excited that we have playoff football coming up. I hate that the season went by as fast as it did, but, it always does. We can't ever get enough of it, but it's going to be a fun few weeks.
It sure is.
I know Nathan said that he doesn't think this is going to be a fun, like he doesn't like the field of guys that are in there, but I'm excited. I'm pumped. And that's not just me being a Tennessee fan glad that we're there, because I am glad that we're there, but that's just more football. It's a 12-team playoff now. It's more games that can be watched.
That is.
As a college football fan, that's all you could ask for.
That's fair, and that's agreeable, and I'm excited for that. But man, it's just like, okay, what are y'all's thoughts on these 4 teams right here, on Oregon, Georgia, Arizona State, and Boise? Because I think Boise's going to get boat raced. Boise's getting whooped, dude. These good teams, these teams that now know what it is, it's the Ashton Genty Express. You play gap sound defense, you crumble him up. Period. That's all they have.
You say that, but Oregon tried it and it didn't work.
Yeah.
He ran all over Oregon.
And Boise State isn't just Genty neither. They have a good passing game as well. I mean, they do. They have good receivers, and they have a quarterback that can get them the ball.
That's true. Hey, Peyton, ask your question in the chat. This is Tuesday Night Talking SEC. Y'all make sure you hit that like button, hit the follow button on us, and go subscribe to the Busted Knee Sports Network on YouTube. Please, please, please. Not sound like Sabrina Carpenter.
But yeah, as far as the field, the top 4 seeds, I'll just give you a quick little rundown of how I feel about each team.
Okay.
We'll start with Oregon. They're impressive. I mean, they're a really good team. They're the only undefeated team in the FBS, so you can't take that from them. They've handled who they were supposed to handle, and they won the big games, and nobody else in the country can say that. So they are deserving of the 1 seed. They're in the right spot. I believe they're the best team in the field right now. I could be wrong, but that's what I believe. And then I'll move over to Georgia. That was my national championship pick until Carson Beck got hurt. Unfortunately, I really hate that for him.
Yeah.
It's just going to derail things there. And I'm not saying Georgia's a bad team. I think they can still go out and make a run. But the quarterback now, I mean, he's just not proven. We don't know anything about his game just yet.
Gunnar Stockton, he's highly recruited.
Highly recruited, yeah. I'm not. Yeah, he's a dog. But
all he's got to do is just keep the ball to the red jerseys and not throw it to the other team and crap his Pampers like Carson Beck does. RDT said something, and I think it's very, very important. I'm gonna scroll up and we'll talk about it in a second. What are your thoughts? I mean, who you want to go to next? Is that all you have to say about Georgia? Or?
Yeah, that's it for Georgia. Boise, I don't like them being a 3 seed, being a group of 5 team, essentially. I'm not saying that they're a bad team. They're a really good team. I don't really like the whole G5 getting an automatic bye. An automatic bye. And then Arizona State, I mean, they won their conference.
They won the Big 12, which was good this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Big 12 is sorry, y'all. The Big 12 was just chaotic this year. I mean, they could go on a run. I don't know if I see it. They have the offensive firepower to definitely do so, but I just not a big fan. Not a big fan. They're on the right side of the bracket though, so I'll give them that.
And that's the question. That's the thing that I want to talk about. I'm glad RDT commented what he commented because it's definitely a fact. But man, Jacob, how do you feel about the 4, bro?
I mean, I can pretty much echo. I would pretty much echo pretty much everything that Jamie said. I think Oregon is far and away the best team. I'll pull back on what he said about Georgia a little bit. I think the Stockton kid is dang good. We saw in the first half of the game, Carson Beck couldn't do squat. Carson Beck gets hurt. They take him out. Gunnar Stockton immediately drives down the field, scores a touchdown.
Ran over somebody instead of going out of bounds.
Yep, stuck him. It was a real good, and that's exactly what you wanted to see as a Georgia fan, is see your quarterback absolutely bowl over somebody instead of scooting his little butt out of bounds, which he could have done. He could have not taken the hit, still got the first down, but he lowered his shoulder and bowled him.
Did you see what arguably the greatest defensive player that's ever played at the University of Georgia, David Pollock, said? Huh. David Pollock said, he said, not RG. Carson Beck just gives you no energy. Like he's just a very stoic guy. And that can be good, but the no energy, like you saw Gunnar run over dude and whole sideline was,
Yep.
So it's like,
yeah.
The fact that he I don't know if it's a torn UCL, but he basically is going to have Tommy John surgery if it's bad enough. And not that he was, but to me, Carson Beck is not an NFL quarterback in the slightest at all. I think he might, go play in the USFL or something after he recovers, but it'll be interesting to see.
I mean, he's not a terrible quarterback by any means. He's more of a game manager. That's how I kind of view him. I think at the next level, I mean, he could be Tennessee Titans version of Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Bare minimum. I mean, I don't think it sucks.
He's got arm talent. Now he's throwing the ball to guys that don't want to catch the ball, and an O-line that wants to block, and then next play not block for him. There's that.
His receivers have had a lot of drops this year.
That's
a huge factor, and he benefited a lot last year having Brock Bowers, who's going to catch any and everything thrown in a 5-foot radius of him.
Glad McConkey too. That dude is clean. I've watched a couple of his games. I haven't watched the NFL near as much because I'm just kind of out on the NFL as of where things happen. But Matt McConkey, dude, that's a hell of a route runner. And I want to point out, this is what RDT commented, and this is just kind of a general question for a lot of folks. How does Oregon have the number 1 seed, but they got arguably the hardest road to the national championship?
It just goes back to how flawed the entire model is.
Yeah.
It's
but they had to set the model up the way that they did to make it make sense. Like it needed to be set up this way so that we could have 2 years of it and then see what it looks like going forward. Yeah. They couldn't jump right in and say, oh, nobody gets an auto buy. Like they needed some kind of structure to go into it before just saying, oh yeah, we're going to do whatever the playoff committee says.
Yeah, this is kind of like what a pro.
That would have caused uproar.
They were. It kind of feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. Like This is almost like a prototype type deal.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I mean, we could all be wrong, and it could be some of the best games of football that we've ever watched. I mean, I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case, but I'm excited to see how it looks once the games start.
I think it's very much got crapshoot potential though, and I hope I'm wrong. I gotta hope that it isn't just a bunch of blowout boat races, a bunch of TCU 2.0s. But man, I'm excited to see how it shakes out. Now, something that I want to. Do y'all have any more thoughts on the college football playoff before we move on to the next thing we're gonna get into tonight?
Well, one more thing about kind of the format. I do like I like that Clemson was able to get in. Like I think having the conference championships mean something is a good thing for the sport.
Yes.
But on top of that, I like that Arizona State got the bye. I think they are one of the best 4 teams in the bracket. And if it wasn't set up this way, they would be the 11 seed, which would really suck for them.
That's true. Who'd you say? My bad.
Oh, Arizona State.
Yeah. Well, see, I think the way that they're playing right now, they're playing hot. Gabe's an Ohio State fan. He's been in the chat. Appreciate you being active, Gabe. He said, you realize Ohio State's 12-0 with a kicker. I mean, Alabama's in the playoff if they don't get blown out by, Oklahoma.
Yeah. And if they beat Arkansas, we have a home playoff game. It's whatever. You can't use that.
I mean, State wins 10 more games, they're in.
That's right.
We don't blow up. We don't lose 3 straight games in the middle of the season and our toughest stretch of the year coming off an Ole Miss win. We're in the damn playoff too. Like, I mean, hell, all Texas A&M had to do was beat Texas to get in to the SEC title game, and hell, they'd have made the playoff. Yeah. South Carolina was this close to making the playoff too. They beat Alabama; they're probably in.
Yeah.
So it's like all of it came down to situational football and a bunch of key games for all the teams that didn't make it. And like situational football for Georgia got them in. They almost lost it. 8 overtimes against Tech. Situational football won them that game. Boise State. I don't believe in Boise. I could be wrong. I hope I'm adding some fuel to Ashton Genty's fire. I really do. Off chance he's watching. But all these teams are playing with emotion. All these teams are playing with chips on their shoulder. You think Dabo, a national championship winning coach, is not going to have these boys motivated? But the other thing that's going on in college football that I don't like, the biggest thing I do not like, is how every time I check my Instagram, it is transfer portal, transfer portal, transfer portal, transfer portal, transfer portal, and I do not like it. It's making a mockery of college football. It's so ugly. And it's just like half of these guys are going to have to go to damn East Mississippi Community College or Northwest Mississippi Community. Half these guys are going to end up at JUCO.
Real quick before you guys continue, I have to get off. I got to get my son ready for bed and stuff like that. So I'm about to get out of here.
Well, God bless you. Hope your grandmother's okay. Thank you for joining, Jamie. Be safe. See yourself out. You got any thoughts on the transfer portal?
Other than I hate it, I think it's been a good thing and a bad thing. Mm-hmm. It's been good in that it has it's ended Georgia's going to collect 4 5-star quarterbacks and 3 of them are never going to play and their career's over.
Yes.
Which in and of itself is a great thing. Like Georgia can't just hoard 5 stars and not do anything with most of them.
I agree.
But it sucks for the guys that were getting good minutes, mm-hmm. but weren't getting the starting reps, that decide they're going to try their hand somewhere else, and they get bad information from these agents and these boosters and everybody saying, hey, come here, come here, come here. And then they hit the transfer portal and all of a sudden they back off of it.
People taking advantage of these young. I mean, these people that are, around our age, most of them are younger than us at this point because you graduated from state and I could have graduated from college if I'd have went to college by now. God willing, I'll see 24, Monday. And it's like the pursuit of money is not evil. The pursuit of money is evil, right? So you've got greed, and these people, the greed is motivating some of these people. Some of these guys entering the portals because they're whoever's advising them, mom, dad, agent, cousin, somebody that's got ulterior motives is advising them to do things, and they're going to get screwed out of it. And I think the world we live in has made us so selfish. It's so self-centered and selfish, and that's not the way it's supposed to be at all. And like nobody's developing, nobody's sitting there and waiting their turn and developing. And that's what I meant in the group chat with you and Jamie when I was like what's going on in society is, going into quarterbacks and going into development because guys don't want to wait their turn. Guys don't want to throw it out. Like Garrett waited at LSU, and he's supposedly, from the looks of it, going to come back next year, and like he'll be better for it. And instead of leaving, and it's like we live in a world that's made everybody so selfish. So they're hitting the portal, going to look, and they're not developing, and they're not, like Coach said, like they're not. If they transfer a bunch, their credits aren't getting, and so they're going to be broke. You're not. It's just a flawed system. It's good, but then you got guys like that are transferring. Hitting the portal from lower conferences, thinking they're going to go somewhere and be a dog. They could end up being running back 3.
Yep.
Or like QB 3. There's no shame in sticking it out, being a dog at a lower level, and making it to the NFL. Like there's no.
We're seeing that come to fruition right now with Ashton Genty. A year ago, he was fielding offers from everybody, multi-million-dollar deals from every major program except Ohio State. And instead of taking the money and running, he stuck with Boise State, and now he is going to be one of the top draft picks coming from the NFL instead of probably splitting minutes with every other quarterback or every other running back on Georgia's roster.
Brady, nobody said we don't. Me and this man right here are two of the biggest baseball guys you'll ever meet.
Yep.
Or ever see live on TikTok or live on YouTube when TikTok gets banned. Because he's a Mississippi State alumni, and I'm an LSU fan. And baseball, Jacob being on this program, his football, bag, his baseball bag, his basketball bag is why. That's why, I'm glad the show is who it is now because it's like the three of us like the 3 major sports that the SEC dominates in. I'm a big softball guy too, so I like SEC softball as well. And I'm just thankful for this opportunity, man. And I hope that all these guys that are in the portal, get all the money that they're owed. They get all the money that they're due. And I hope that people advising these young athletes, in every sport, because it's women's sports, it's men's sports, it's basketball, it's baseball, it's football, it's cricket, it's tennis, it's all of them. And I just hope that people don't have their own selfish motives. And
I saw somewhere today that these NIL agents are taking up to 20% from the college athletes,
which is crazy,
compared to NFL agents that are taking 3 to 5%, or their marketing agents, which are taking at most 10%. Like it is insane.
It's ridiculous.
There are people that are taking advantage of these young men and women that just don't know any better.
Yeah, because life-changing money, man. Like, you and I are, we don't come from billionaires. We don't come from millionaires. You know what I mean? It's like, you offer me $100,000 to go, hell, $100,000 is a lot of money to me, let alone millions. Like, let alone millions of dollars, man. And it's like, it's just kind of sad to me. But I want to, kind of wrap my show up tonight. I appreciate you being able to join this week. I'm glad you're able to get back on the program. I'm glad you made it back from Jacksonville. Jacksonville's one of the best cities in Florida, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you had a good time in there. I'm sure you was working all the time, but I hope you got to go to Jack's Beach or whatever at least. And a lot of people say
no, it was 30 degrees the whole week. We didn't touch the water.
Ooh, that sucks. It's like going to the beach for a vacation, spend all this money, go to a vacation, and it rains at the beach the whole week.
Yeah.
But I want to go into Mark chapter 8, verse 34 again. It's the verse I let off the program with tonight. And this was when Jesus had just fed 4,000 people with literally 4 loaves of 4,000, they had like 4 or 5 loaves of bread. Okay. And it's that's the context of it. And this is verse 34. And he summoned the crowd with his disciples and said to them, if anyone wishes come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's will save it. For does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? For what will a man gain in exchange for his soul? For whoever is ashamed of me and my words is in his adulterous and sinful generation. The Son of Man will also be ashamed of him when he comes in glory of his Father and the holy angels. And that right there, Jacob, I don't know how you interpret that, but I think that kind of points exactly what we were just talking about a little bit. Like people's own self-pursuits, like to deny ourselves these, like it said in the scripture, it's easier for, a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than a rich man to inherit the kingdom of heaven, kingdom of God. Because it's like, this ain't about us. And, there's ways to interpret for whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospels will save it. The way I interpret that is if you're trying to live this life like you're in control and like it's your own way, like you're controlling everything, I think you got it messed up. It's like I interpret that, and if you have a different interpretation, I'd love to bounce it off of you. I interpret that as we're supposed to ask God to show us his will and live his will through us. Yes, we got some free will, but like to live our life according to what God wants us to do, because it's about glorifying Jesus' name and being thankful and believing in Jesus. I mean, that's just my interpretation. Is that your thought process as well, or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's like, what do we gain? I mean, I personally believe a lot of people have sold their souls, like it says in verse 37, for what will a man gain in exchange for his soul? Like, I believe people have sold their soul to the devil for wealth. I kind of believe that's the root of what's wrong with society today, and it sucks. But it's just biblical prophecy coming true, and that means we just got to hold true and hold steadfast to God's words, because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And I'm just very thankful for the blessings that God has bestowed upon us, even in hard times. That's when He wants us to lean on Him the most. And I'm very thankful that God has given me this platform, because without God, none of this is possible. So I'd like to share the gospel at the beginning and reiterate at the end here. Thank y'all all so much for joining us. God loves you. We love you. Make sure you go subscribe to the Busted Esports Network on YouTube. This week's episode will be on there tonight or tomorrow. It just depends on if the Wi-Fi wants to do its job or not. God loves you. We love you. Have a good week, Jacob.
All right.